Good morning, gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you on a very important topic, and that concerns Canada, India and the Khalistan movement. आप जानते हो कि बहुत प्रॉब्लम आई है कनाडा इंडिया रिलेशंस में, और ये तब आई जब एक जेंटलमैन जिसका नाम था सरदार निज्जर, ही वॉज किल्ड और शॉट डेड outside the Gurdwara in Surrey at Vancouver, British Columbia. So Canada has said that India is responsible for the killing. India has denied it, and there has been a diplomatic spat. पर एक बात याद रखिए, बिफोर आई say anything further, मैं आपको रिमाइंड करूँगा कि सर विंस्टन चर्चिल, who was the Prime Minister of England, had coined the word the English speaking people. And he wrote a book also called The History of the English Speaking People, a very voluminous work and very authentic work. And he considers the English speaking people as part of 5 nations. They are the United Kingdom, Canada, United States, Australia and New Zealand. And throughout the book also, if you read in the history of the English speaking people, you will realize that the English speaking people have dominated the world for close to 600 years or maybe even more. There have been other races like the French, the Germans, the Chinese, Japanese, but nobody dominated that much as the English speaking people. And the crux of the issue is now that the English speaking people, which are also the Anglo-Saxons, want to retain their hegemony over the world. And this Khalistan movement is part of that plan. Now, I am told that Under Secretary in the CIA had given the information that the lead on the killing of Niger was given by the American ambassador to Canada. Now, this is a very serious bit of news. At the same time, Canada lapped the information up hook, line and sinker, blamed India, and the Canadian Prime Minister made a statement in Parliament which was unwarranted because he didn't have the proof other than some conceptions, some leads, but leads are not proof. I personally feel India gained nothing by killing Niger. He was a small time man, a small dot in a wheel, and there was no point in killing him. He was probably killed by some gangsters in a gang war. And just after him, I think 2 days back, another Khalistan protagonist has been gunned down, and this time Goldie Brar, one of the gangsters holed up in America, has claimed credit for the killing. So gentlemen, it's a very complex situation. The fact is the Americans are not wholeheartedly on the side of India, though they are scared of China and would like India to be part of the battle group against China. But they are dragging their feet on Khalistan movement. Now they have all the information as to who were the men who set the Indian consulate on fire in San Francisco. Video cameras are there, and the FBI is supposed to be very efficient, but they haven't caught anybody. In addition, there is some news coming that Guru Patwant Singh Pannu may be an asset of the CIA. There is another point which I'll just bring to your notices, which is just food for thought. One of the top executives in the American administration has said that America killed Osama bin Laden and Abu Zawri in Kabul and Abbottabad because they had blood on their hands. He goes on to add that Niger also had blood on his hands, and it is within the rights of the Indians to have killed him. I don't agree with it, because I don't think India did it, but this is one line of thought. Now the Americans have been killing people left, right and center for the last 75 years. You know how they killed, got Allende killed, Che Guevara, and how they put the Shah of Iran back on the throne in 1954, there's no end to it. The CIA is running an assassination group all over the world. So are the Russians. I don't think India is in that league at all. It's wrong to compare. But at the same time, the English-speaking people wouldn't like India to rise up. They are already caged Russia by fighting the war in Ukraine. And the Russians are getting dissipated. They are tied down. They live scared of China. They don't know how to deal with it. And the next power they fear is India. But at the same time, they would like to entice India into their fold. But at the same time, not go the whole hog. None of the English-speaking countries have supported India and Kashmir. Let's accept that fact. And all of them are giving fillip and not doubting the flames that are rising from the Khalistan movement. Can these people deny it? I think it's very silly of Canada to have taken up cudgels on behalf of a man who has got blood on his hands, that is Niger. And Patwan Singh also is a known terrorist. Patwan Singh Pannu, somebody says is a mole of the USA or the CIA. Maybe, may not be true. I don't know, I can't say. But bear in mind that there's one man called Jagjit Singh Chauhan who was the president of the Khalistan movement, and he was also in the pay of the USA or the CIA, but when the time came that they didn't need him, they threw him away and he died as a pauper. So the CIA uses their assets, and so long as they are of some use, they keep them and pay them, otherwise they just throw them away like rocks, and these people just wither away. So gentlemen, this is a food for point, food for thought. But one thing is very clear, that now Canada and the English-speaking nations have thrown the gauntlet to India. They are accusing India of having killed Niger. Indians have denied it, and I think they are correct. But at the same time, I will just say that by chance, if the Indians had killed this man, I think it was justified. Because you can't have two sets of laws in the world, that the Americans go and kill the terrorists anywhere in the world. And lastly, even now if you remember, General Suleiman, the Iranian general, was killed in Iraq by a drone attack, precision attack. So the same thing is continuing. America wants to have the world under its thumb and rule it. But they are getting jittery because of the rise of China in India. They are sure that with the help of India, they will be able to contain China, and later on they will deal India. But at the same time, they like to keep India weak. That's why they have started this Khalistan movement support. And you know the attitude they have taken on the Manipur crisis. Well, gentlemen, the English-speaking people are allied together, and they have what is called the 5 eyes. They share the intelligence, secret information, everything. But every day is not Sunday, and the sun is setting on the English-speaking people, that is the Anglo-Saxons. It's about time these nations learned to live in the world, not make wild accusations. And if there is some truth in them, they must realize that the main persons who are instigating this are the so-called democracies. That is, the English-speaking democracies. I think India must keep its guard up. And frankly, if you ask me, the Khalistan terrorists are so tiny, just like small ants in a molehill. There's no need to deal with them at all. They'll fritter away and die away on their own. No need to get provoked. So that is the advice I'll give to the Indian government. Take it easy, relax and enjoy yourself. Khalistan will never take shape. But what we must counter is the devious plan of the Canadians, supported by the Americans, to balkanize India in the long run. They did it in Russia, it broke the Soviet Union, and they have plans for China also. Well, gentlemen, I will close now and say goodbye. I would like you to subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and come back. And just for the record, I'm a senior Air Force officer who's held senior corporate appointments, including being a project director with the United Nations. I have written 20 books, including 7 on fiction, 4 on military history. So, gentlemen, this is just a brief introduction. I look forward to more interaction with you all. Goodbye, Jai Hind, and God bless.